Hello, welcome to another lesson. This lesson is on prevention. Prevention services, specifically through the view of addiction and substance abuse prevention. Although prevention frameworks tend to be pretty broad, and the most popular and supported prevention frameworks that exist currently can actually be applied to a variety of life issues that go way and above and beyond substance use. Usually when we talk about prevention, what frequently comes to mind is public health prevention through health departments or other community agencies, child abuse prevention, for example, smoking prevention. So when we're talking about prevention, it's the effort on the individual level or the societal level to reduce harmful behaviors. And this lesson is really a really big, broad, fast overview of the field of prevention. Prevention is actually a field within human services that you can not only obtain educational credentials in, but also professional credentials. And there's just many, many jobs out there in the prevention tracks. There's actually a state certification in Virginia and most states related to prevention. So this chapter and lesson, my intent is to do a pretty good job of explaining some of the general information. I actually teach several courses on prevention science at other institutions. So what I'm trying to share with you this lesson is just, again, a drop in the bucket. I've actually spent the past 5 years, uh, except for about 18 months in the middle, um, implementing prevention programs in the community at the community-based level in Northwest Piedmont of North Carolina, which includes Surrey, Stokes, and Rockingham counties in a variety of ways. Substance abuse prevention, drink driving prevention, violence prevention efforts, and so forth. So this has been a professional activity away from clinical services of late. So it's certainly something I'm excited to talk about. Um, this lesson includes a few examples, video examples, of a fatherhood commercial about the importance of parenting and the dangers of not parenting effectively. I've included just a really big review of the Ad Council. Many of you uh, may or may not recognize the Ad Council. It's AD Council. But next time you're watching TV and see a prevention clip, more than likely it might be produced by the Ad Council. One of the most famous ones is this is your brain, this is your brain on drugs, and that's the egg in a frying pan. So I've included links to those. You can actually view many of their videos online that's been produced recently. Also included two videos that I produced, one in Surrey and another one in Stokes counties, that were used youth to spread a message of the dangers of drunk driving and the dangers of overconsumption and underage consumption of alcohol. Um, During the past, again, 4 years, I've probably produced about 40 public service announcements and a couple of documentaries related to the dangers of excessive alcohol use. If anyone's interested in seeing those, I'll be happy to share those with you. I only included two really short efforts. Also included information about Project Lazarus, which is a prevention project in Wilkes County, North Carolina, that's actually being used as a model in the South and even in Virginia, to be honest, about the dangers of prescription drug misuse and abuse and how to prevent misuse and abuse on the front end, but how to respond if the prescription drug user and addict accidentally overdoses. I've included links to a couple of their videos. It's worth watching the videos. These are classic informational videos, community capacity building videos. When I say community capacity, it's trying to increase the ability of the community to respond to a certain community problem, and classic intervention videos. This model is actually being considered for this region in terms of one of the ways that we can address prescription drug misuse and abuse by many local groups. So I, again, certainly encourage you to take some time to watch those. I've included a few videos about, or documents about, the big picture of prevention and addiction, and how these two topics seem to work together. I've presented some information about child abuse prevention, information about how prevention has kind of taken a foothold in public health in the United States since the 1950s, and how prevention is supposed to be research-based. What this means is we should have documented evidence, or trying to build documented evidence of interventions and activities in our communities that we believe through a scientific model are effective. Now this is kind of hit and miss, this research, and it goes way beyond what we have time to discuss in this framework, in this one lesson. But I do hope to provide additional courses here at Westville on prevention science as soon as the next academic year, if folks are interested in prevention. We also included some of the research behind the research. When we talk about research and things being evidence-based, what does it really mean? What does it mean to the layperson? Also included a link that supports your second short response paper from NRAP, which is the National Registry of Evidence-Based Programs. This is a long list of programs that is thought, according to the evidence, to be successful and effective in communities addressing certain problems. Now, we have to take this with a grain of salt. Just because it is on the list doesn't make the program any more or less effective than those who are not on the list. And I will not go into the details of how these programs were chosen, but what I do want you to do is take some time and review the programs that's listed and investigate the programs that addresses some of the community problems you might be interested in and populations you might be interested in working with, and sharing that information with me that you learned based on the directions for the response paper. Plus, we have 2 discussion board postings. The first being prevention. What do you think about prevention? Is it a realistic and can prevention work? And another one is some public service announcements that you have viewed in the movie theater or on TV in the past. And do you believe that public service announcements on community problems are such announcements effective in changing community behavior? Again, I look forward to hearing from each of you, and take care.